Welcome to our ABOR candidate interviews for our upcoming Board of Directors election. Today we have Tracey with Spyglass Realty. Hey Sunny, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Claire, good to see you.
So glad to have you. I want to dive right in, all right? You ready?
Great.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us, why are you running? Give us your elevator pitch.
Okay. Pretty simple. I love to serve. This association does a lot more for us than most members realize. We all pay our dues and we expect a certain level of service and support and advocacy. But part of that comes from, us being willing to contribute back socially, intellectually, back to the organization. So we have to, make sure that our voices are heard. And I can't say enough about how great the staff is, and they provide an invaluable service in supporting us. But they're not on the front line serving clients in our community. And without our input, where's our compass? Where are we going? And I think that I can represent and contribute a very relatable perspective to the board that'll help hopefully guide us in making good decisions for the membership and our clients and our community.
Awesome. Well, we know you've been a long time volunteer, and we certainly appreciate that. Um, as you know, we have two hats when we work for the board of directors, right? We have the ABOR Association side, and then we also have the MLS as an actress board member. So tell us how you will work to reinforce the value of the MLS side.
Sure. So I've been licensed in Austin for 10 years, and I feel like I've seen a lot happen. But then when you talk to people, that have been licensed here for decades, they'll tell you that, the MLS has always been faced with challenges and obstacles like this. And so there's always been a way to adapt and combat the challenges along the way. But, it'll just be so important that this board stay committed to looking as far into the future as we can for challenges to the way that we do business, threats to the information that this association owns, so that, we can be proactive, not reactive in, preserving that value that the MLS provides. I use the word combat. That's probably not the best word. I think in the future, we'll probably be taking a more collaborative approach in those efforts and making those decisions.
Mm-hmm. So that's a great answer. And it sort of leads me into the segue of our strategic plan, which is definitely the compass of what we do at ABOR and helps us drive decision making within the organization. So as we shift to our strategic plan, what is the most important thing to you going into 2022? You talked about, being forward, working from a high level. What part of the strategic plan is the most important to you to see that moving forward?
Yeah, well, I think that everybody who worked on the strategic plan did a really great job of, keeping it simple and making it very easy to read and understand. And as this pandemic has reshaped our industry and the way we do business, there's probably things that might not go back to the way they were before. I mean, when you look at your daily life, how different is it from what you were doing in February of 2020? It looks pretty different, right? Mm-hmm. So how the association serves us today is going to look pretty different. And part of our strategic plan is engaging intentionally with members and meeting them where they are, not where they were in 2020. So, I think it'll be important for us to think about that. We all spent so much time in limbo, I think, just waiting for this switch to get flipped back on and everything would go back to normal. But we have to start thinking about, how we provide and engage in a more nimble state. What are the technologies that are going to be most useful? How do we, provide engagement opportunities that our members are going to want? And, how do we implement these while, still having a lot of unknowns out there and not completely knowing, what's ahead? I certainly don't have perfect answers to any of these questions, but
You do great.
I do look forward to talking about them and, helping to represent a good perspective in making decisions for our members.
That's awesome. I always like to say, our members they serve every corner of the city and surrounding cities here in Central Texas, and are just uniquely qualified to stay connected to what is going on the ground and what is going on in the future of real estate. And staying engaged is so important. So that's a great answer. And also my favorite part of the strategic plan as well. We have to be nimble. We do. We have to be nimble. So with that said, and how you talk about you like to, bring your ideas and bring forth your conversations with regards to all of these dynamics, what do you feel that you bring to the table that will help move the association forward?
So one of my colleagues just yesterday actually referred to me as a world-class bridge builder. And I don't know that I would have ever described myself with those words, but I thought it was a really nice compliment. And, forward thinking requires a lot of collaboration and working together. And while I'm not a person that, I'm a planner, I like to know what's going on. I don't like not knowing what the answer is, and I don't like not having a clear view of the future. But I do love problem solving. And I love, I like helping others and working together to find that common ground. So, this board is going to face a lot of controversial topics, as they always have, but we can all see, some really good ones coming. And so I think it's going to be important that we have, leadership and directors that really know how to listen. And I think one of the most important things that I can say is that I'm not coming to this position with an agenda. That's not the way I approach my career. It's not the way I approach, our growth at Spyglass. And it's certainly, I don't think a productive approach to working on this board. So I would be here to listen, to learn, to contribute to the decisions that are, going to be best for all of us.
That's great. That's great. Change is the new normal, right? We like to have a little fun too, but change is, right, is the new thing. And we certainly are talking about it every day at the board of directors. So that's a fantastic answer. What keeps you up at night? What is, like you said, there's so many changes going on. There's a lot of different dynamics, sort of attacking the industry, if you will. What keeps you up at night?
Well, I have 3 kids, so mostly them. Well. But when it's not them, and if we're talking about something that, relates to the board and ABOR and actress, I think that one of the real whoops at the door is, iBuyers and alternative selling solutions, and who, quite frankly, have been setting the stage to undercut our profession for years. And, we've been fortunate here in Austin to kind of be cushioned and reaping the benefits of this robust market that we've been in for, long time now. And which, when we're in a market like that, it makes it a little easier to turn a blind eye or kick cans down the road that we, don't want to deal with. But I think most of our members might be, kind of defensive, and it's easy to say like, ooh, I don't want to feed the monster. I don't want to, engage there. We got to be, I think, a little more open-minded about how we're going to, approach these topics and these problems that we, are not only facing us today, but are kind of here to stay, as it may seem. We just have to think about, how do we protect our most valuable assets, which I think are, the standards of our profession and the data that this board owns. So, I mentioned a little bit ago about, looking into the horizon and into the future. We can do that all day, but not being willing or brave enough or whatever to take on the things that we see. We have to be able to do that, not just talk about them, not just sweep them under the rug and let the next group deal with them. There's always going to be, new ways to do things and new tools and new ways of utilizing all this data that we own. And we just can't run away from it.
Yeah. I like to say too that, staying knowledgeable about what's happening and making sure that you're in the know so that you can speak to it both with your clients and with your colleagues when these things happen. So wonderful. Well, as we close out our session today, Sunny, is there anything else that you would like to share with your colleagues as they work to vote for our new board of directors?
I think, we covered a lot today, and like I said, I'm the type of person that loves to serve. I will keep a very open ear through all channels of communication. I'd love to hear from people and, what they think about certain things. I'm certainly not an expert on everything, but I'm a very willing and eager learner. So that's what I'll be here to do.
Wonderful. That's all we can ask for. Thank you so much for your time today. To everybody watching, don't forget to vote for our new board of directors coming soon. Thank you so much for joining me, Sunny, and we'll see everybody next time.
Yeah, thanks, Claire.